Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Stop Surviving Change, Start Leading It, from Excel to AI and automations with Easy8. My name is Daniel Zach, and I'm COO of Easy Software and CEO of Easy8. In Easy Software, we're developing a project management and work management platform, and in Easy8, we focus on guiding B2B companies through AI automations and helping them with digital transformation. What are we going to be talking about today? Sorry. First, of course, leading the change, as is the topic of the webinar. Then we will look at a short case study, how a company we served went from Excel to AI automations. And at the end, there'll be question and answers. This session will be 45 minutes long, and 15 minutes will be for question and answers. So if you have any questions now or will have during the session, you can use Q&A, and you should see that on your bar. If there will be questions that I will not be answering due to not enough time, you can contact me through LinkedIn or email. I will be sharing my contact details later in the presentation. All right, so let's begin. Leading the change. Change is difficult. I don't know anyone who would tell me that change is something easy. And especially today, when we are basically at the digital crossroad. Digital transformation is not what it used to be. It's basically changing every couple of years. What does it actually mean? It's not just about using tools today, but it's also affected by AI. And it's kind of becoming standard. So transforming and being more digital is no longer competitive advantage. It's something that if companies do not adapt, they will be lagging. And as I mentioned, AI is affecting this world already and the market of project management quite a lot. Basically, AI is everywhere. It creates fear of missing out, of course, and all the buzz around creates pressure, and we kind of feel like we must act, we must do something, we must try to use AI. But it's not that easy because there is just so many sources, there is so many options, and it's kind of natural that it creates paralysis, and maybe even you wondering how to approach it, where to implement it, where to even start. And it's not just about the buzz. It's not just about buzz and people talking. It's also market, because if you look at the market, the AI investments are rising all the time. AI is improving, and it's better basically every month. And the question that hopefully you already ask yourself is whether we need to change. Do we want to change? And if you already do that, you probably ask the question how. Maybe ask the question yourself right now, or I'm asking you, did you already start digital transformation, adopting AI? Are you doing initiatives towards change and digital transformation? Are you in doubts of whether AI is the right solution for you? And if all of that is yes, you probably are in the part where you try to figure out how to do it the best, if you haven't already done it. And I'm come from project management, so I've done dozens of projects, including kind of big ERP implementation, software implementation, agile transformation, and even digital transformation. And I've often heard many reasons why it is not a right time to change, or reasons why there shouldn't be any changes right now. The number one reason usually is we have legacy. We have something that works. It worked for dozens of years. It is working now, and probably it will be working. We don't see a reason why it shouldn't be working. The second one is that if you change something, it causes disruption. You need to use your resources, and for the time of change, you probably won't be as productive as if you wouldn't change. And the last one is, okay, even if we would like to do it, who is going to carry it, who is going to be the one who's going to take it home. And basically it leads to trying to find a loophole per se. We have something that we know it works, we like it, we basically do that every day, and we don't want to let it go because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of way. But even though we are eager to innovate somehow, so often companies and people and C-levels talking to me is trying to find a way how to digitize or adopt AI or integrate more tools or start automating without dropping what we already feel like it's valuable for us and we don't want to lose. I usually get into the discussion where the conversation leads to a technical stack, and finding the optimal solution, the optimal technology that will save me, that will give me the capability to do stuff and to do stuff I need and to fix all my problems. And what I'm telling them from my experience is the change management and the transformation, even if it's focused on technology of the company, is rarely a real blocker because it's mostly about resources. And even though if you have unlimited resources, there is basically no technical magic that will solve issues in your organizational structure, in your processes. It is basically you can basically update your stack, update your software, but it will not fix the problems. The problems will stay, and it is because of people. So in order to actually adopt change properly and to make real impact, you need people to accept it. And working with people is quite challenging. This is probably, you've already seen it. This is a change curve, and it's representing how people are adopting changes and what are the phases they are experiencing, and also shows you one inevitable thing, which is the dive down, the death valley, as it's called, which I mentioned is inevitable. There will be pushbacks. There will be a lot of work with trying to make it as shallow as possible, which is basically I would say the #1 priority of change manager, to make the death valley as short as possible and as shallow as possible. And why does this even matter? It's because people, sorry if you don't agree with me, are a little selfish or more selfish, it really depends. And what I mean by it in a matter of work is that everyone has its own priority. For me, as a C-level, I have different priority. I know why I need to move my company towards something else. I need why I need to change. And that's my motivation. But I cannot really translate that to team member who maybe is motivated by something totally else. He just loves what he's doing, and it's not that important to him whether the company is going to be much bigger or having bigger revenues. He just wants to get his job done, and ideally without any hustle reporting. And I could go on each level, and you probably can imagine that what is important for people and what motivates them. And this leads me to how we can increase the potential of successful adoption, and how can we work even with the death valley here to make it more shallow. And it is very similar to a project approach. The better the preparation, better the discovery, the better or the higher chances of successful planning, execution, and delivery. And with change, there is no exception for change, maybe even more important. And again, in an experience of mine, AI, that's a great thing. Everyone is using it. I read about it. I want to implement it. Tell me how. And my question is, and why do you need it? What is the need you're trying to solve? And honestly, people usually hesitate with the answer and cannot really answer the answer is not good enough. Usually it's like, hey, everyone is doing that. I want to have an assistant, but that's still like, it's like a feature, right? It's not like a real problem we need to solve. And here is a pretty simple, I wouldn't even call it framework, just 3 areas, 3 steps. What I would recommend to do anytime when you're trying to approach change, and it doesn't really matter if it's change in technology or change in organization or AI adoption. The first is question why. Why do we need to change? And think about our current situation. What is our digital maturity? And now I'm in context of digital transformation. So where are we in digital maturity? How does our tech stack look like? How many tools do we have? Are those tools integrated? How many people are using our tools? Do I know my processes well enough? Do I really understand what is going on inside of my team or inside of my company? Once I have that, I have kind of like the first reality check. And then I need to move forward and I need to address the need. Okay, so now I know what I'm working with. I know where I am, so I can start to getting to understand where I want to go. What is my bread and butter? What I do every day? What is the main value that my company is creating? How is it creating? Do I know what the value chain of my company is? Do I have a map or at least an understanding of my company processes? Do I know which processes are critical and supportive? Again, the next step of getting into understanding what the real need is. Because once I know that, the one thing is I'm well-oriented, which is fine. And I can do much more, not just change, but very different kind of different types of innovations, sorry. And as I mentioned, processes, it's not always about critical processes and supportive processes, but it's also about obsolete processes, the stuff that shouldn't be there. And I can know that if I will really imagine, and not really imagine, because my recommendation is, can you imagine your company as a one big picture where you can see everything that's going on? And that's my recommendation to basically anyone. It's actually good for practice, even if you're not trying to change something, just to know if you could do it. So create a map. It can be a simple picture, but what is important about this exercise, creating this map of your company, is that you can see it in context. You can see the whole picture. That's something that the list doesn't provide you, is seeing the overlaps, seeing the bottlenecks, seeing the empty spaces, and you're wondering, there should be something added here, which gets you to evaluation, to see where are the holes, where are the money leaks, where are the productivity leaks. Because once you have the map, you can actually assign KPIs or metrics to those processes, and then you can see where it got stuck and where do I need to improve. And only if you have this, you are getting to the need, because now you know what you really need to change in order to improve something in your company in that picture. And you can get to solution design. You can start mapping what solution, technical solution, organizational solution, can help you solve this. And it's happening to us when we are talking to our vendors, and it's happening when new clients coming to us. We just know that the better the preparation, the more suitable solution we can provide and can be provided to us, because it's exactly clear what is the real need, and also allows you to think a little bit out of the box. So not just improving what we already have, but adding something more and creating more value. This is an example of how this map could look like. To bit of context, this is a technology company, about 60 people. And this is just the first phase. And as you can see, there are already some sticky notes. It's basically adding comments to those parts. But this is just, one of the examples of how this process mapping can look like. The other part, the next steps, when we address the need and now we're mapping the solution, is understanding that change management just cannot be managed as a waterfall project. And why I saying this exactly, because that's what I experience a lot, especially in bigger companies, because for them waterfall works maybe for their project, and it's just their best practices. But for change management, my experience and my recommendation is to combine and go hybrid, basically go hybrid and enjoy and use the strengths of both. Plan waterfall for expectations management. It's great to have phases, or necessary to have phases and milestones, so you can plan in time, you can plan resources allocation, manage budget, and also define acceptance criteria, so you know when you can move to the next step. And that's something that it's quite hard to swallow if you are not adjusted to agile approach, because then it can get longer, it can get more complicated. So that's why the execution should have at least an agile mindset, ideally the whole agile framework. So work with iterations, focus on improving constantly, focus on gathering feedback and be able to react, and basically adapt to the situation. And if you combine these two, again, chances of successful adoption of change will be much higher. There was a promised framework or checklist. This is basically a checklist that I can provide. And it's a combination of Kotler and my own approach, my own experiences. And this is the part where you're actually working with the organization and working towards accepting the change or adopting and sustaining the change. And there is not much about the technicalities here. It's not much about technology, because about the technology, it's quite simple. Once you have the solution, it's just you against technology. And once you make it work, it works and it sticks. Of course, there are bugs, of course, but once you get it done, it basically runs. And what can hold you back are the people. So that's why it's important to follow maybe these steps. That's what I follow to ensure that the change is accepted organizationally. Define reason of the change. We've already done it. If we are following the framework, we've already done it because we did the map. We understand why we're doing it. Now we need to interpret it and translate it to people. So we need to have a plan of change, vision and direction, something that we can communicate, and we can communicate it and be unified in all management and in all leadership. We need to secure support of people, which is leadership, managers, and even people with maybe not really formal role, but some informal authority. Sometimes these are developers who are they are not managers, but they have a huge impact. And start working with stakeholder management. So identify champions, people who are going to be on board and help you with adopting and basically with shout-outing, this is a great thing, let's do it, get on board with me, but also identify detractors. So those are the ones who say, this is not a good idea, I don't want to do it, let's boycott, let's just stop working, stuff like that. And there is just like a simple rule for change management, how to work with these. Champions use it as much as possible. Detractors, isolate them, which is kind of like a change management joke. You can't really isolate them, but it just means that you need to pay more attention to detractors because they're just not going to be proactive. Or actually, they're going to be proactive. They're going to try to sabotage your thing. So they're going to be proactive, but you need to know who these people are. Which basically connects to the fourth point: prepare your stakeholders and engage people. Extremely important for getting people on board is to understand what is their motivation and what they need. As I mentioned, as people are selfish, you need to know what will, it's quid pro quo, right? do something else, do something differently, and be happy about it. It doesn't really work, right? So let's do this change. I understand that this change may be difficult for you, but there is something in it for you. This is where you can get the people on board, and you can just say it, because what is said doesn't really mean it will be done. You need to generate small wins. You need to find ways how to get the credibility, the morale boost, and actually achieve something, little things. And if you do that, and if you actually demonstrate how it will help the people, they will be much more ready to do another step. And maybe at the end, they will be glad and happy. That's the ultimate goal, of course. This also connects to point number 6, and it's sharing and communicating big, but also small picture. Some people you probably know, a couple of people are laying bricks, one laying bricks, and the third one or fourth one is building cathedral. The one that's building cathedral, that's usually the managers or more engaged people. And those are fine with big picture because they like to be some part of something bigger, and kind of can be motivated by something that's not entirely theirs. But those who are laying bricks, they just want to lay bricks. I'm not going to say laying bricks. The developers just want to develop, and they don't really care much about organizational stuff usually. So I need to find something that is in for them. Communicate their small picture, how your life is going to be better, how in your team things are going to improve. Some people just don't really care if the company is really successful or not, and that's just the reality. Support adoption and embrace depression is bullet point number 7. As I mentioned, there is going to be Death Valley, and the goal is to be ready for it and be agile, be able to react quickly, and try to make it as shallow as possible, which you can do if you are going to be generating those small wins, if you're going to be paying attention to what really people needs and trying to give them so they have also chips on the table. And if you done all of this and you survived the Death Valley, you're getting to sustaining the change, so basically sticking into it. And sometimes you may feel like, okay, we've done this change and we are good to go. But what is important to understand is that once you do change, and especially if it's new tool or the whole company transformation, it's something that just set some momentum, and you can use that momentum. You can use the momentum because now you are not company who is stuck in the same old ways. You are a company that just made an innovation, just made a change, and you went through it successfully, and you can use that momentum. You can use that momentum to earn more. And you also can basically use one change or one structural change to another, because I've already said how much trouble is it to manage change. If you do it, you can do it big. You can actually add more things, which is basically leading me to the stages of digitization, where this is kind of like a representation of how you can define your digitization level. And if we would be on the bottom and we would just be starting using advanced tools, so we are not using spreadsheets anymore, we're using advanced tools which are really helping us doing our job, tools that are specialized in a certain type of work, advanced project management, CRM, etc., etc. Once we do it, or once we decide to do it, it is not that far away to get to integration, basically the second stage. Because if we try to adopt one or two tools, the next natural way is to try to connect them and integrate them. And you can try to do it one by one, and but it can easily happen that you will go through the change, then you will start to stagnate again, and then you will be doing basically very similar thing again in a couple of years. And you can just save money, time, and use that as an advantage towards creating greater impact, but also address more people in the company, more teams. Integrations are great, but what is even greater are automations. And that is automations are something that can really have a direct impact even on the team members. Because now, okay, they have a new tool, a new dummy tool they don't like. All right, we need to learn something else. It's integrated. Maybe I'm in the team that is not affected by the integration. Okay, so salespeople have integrated CRM. So what is it for me? What's in it for me? Once I starting to add automations, and I start to find a way how to help those people to get rid of the manual repetitive work that it's basically holding them back from being creative and doing stuff they need their experience and their passion in. It's another asset for them which you can bring. And now I've been talking just about the people. Of course, the impact on the company is also the potential of impact is increasing if you decide to not just go to one level, but go 2 or even 3 levels, or even get straight to AI agents. And this is also where I usually get into the deeper discussion with those clients or with those another managers when they're telling me, I want to adopt AI. And I'm asking why, what is the need? Why do you need that? And then I ask them, okay, so do you have, how is your processes? Do you have any troubles in your processes? Do you feel like you're confident in each segment of your company? Do you use advanced tools to support your daily operations? Are those tools communicating together? And I'm just adding these questions because yes, you can start adopting AI even though you are working in Excel spreadsheet, but the impact is not just going to be as big. And in order to use AI to maximize its potential, that's why it's a pyramid, because it has a big foundation, and the foundation needs to be solid in order to create a synergy effect. Here is an example of how this impact can be presented on project management. The red one is basically the first stage of digitization. So we have some project management tool, and it's great because we see project on the same, we see projects in the one application, task, we can assign it to people, we can track progress, but it's still mostly manual. So I still need to do some work. So basically what I interpret as a team member, okay, so now I have one tool, but I still need to do all those things that I don't really want to do. I just want to get the task and get the job done. That's everything that I want to do. But if I also add the automation layer, and in this case, even AI-powered automation layer, I can switch the mindset entirely, because now, okay, there is a tool, but because we have the tool, we're actually able to build on top of that. And we can change this whole dynamic to leverage that potential towards saving time, increasing efficiency, and what is important, to earn more time or save time, which we can use, and not only time, also as project manager, I'm project manager. So what is taking me my decision capacity is resource allocation, but it's actually quite simple, right? I have a team, they have certain skills, and I just need to assign them work. Now I don't have to do that anymore. So all those decisions is basically draining the energy from me, the energy that I should be or could be using on something much more important decisions, but I don't have to do it anymore. And this is just an example, and basically it's really that simple, that what is simple enough that it can be done by an assistant, an experienced assistant, is something that is suitable for automations. And it does not always require AI. it can be done even with a code or even with smart workflow, which can do it without a necessity of AI integration. This is how it is done from architecture perspective, what I've been just talking about. And I here use Easy8 because that's our product, and N8N because that's our platform, not our platform, but it's platform that we use to create those automation layers. This is what we use as an environment to create those workflows and integrations and agents. And basically, Easy8 is very well suited for being kind of like organizational centerpiece of the tech stack, because it's well suited for work management and project management, and it has the features which are just suitable for organization of work. But it can also work as a data platform which can be like a single source of truth. And through N8N and smart automations, we can just build up those digitization stages, and we can integrate CRMs, we can integrate analytics, Microsoft 365, and not only integrate but also automate. So make the stuff automatic without human interaction, or even augment it with AI, with some decision making, and create really sustainable, independent, automated processes. That was the first part, and now we're getting to the case study or the use case I'm about to present. The use case is about a client of ours, which is a mid-sized company running multiple technological projects across maintenance, product development, and supply chain. And it basically, this is their situation analysis, identified pains. That's something that that was analyzed through, as I went through the framework, the process mapping. This is basically what was identified as the issues or the needs that needs to be solved. And we were trying to find a solution for that. And I know there are multiple bullet points, but they representing a real pain that the company was having. They were relying on Excel quite a lot. They were actually managing projects in Excel, which caused so many mistakes and so many errors that they were losing track, and they were just, randomly by mistake erasing progress. It was very hard to track the accountability, understand who owns the task, which also, which obviously created delays. Another pain related to that was errors on forgetting billable time, because it had separate evidence, which basically was leading to missed revenue. They were also using a legacy ticket management software, their own management software, for tickets and help desk. But the issue was that it was carrying only tickets. So anytime the ticket came up and it was related to some client, there would have to be a manual search, and there was basically no context, which meant that the developers or the support were trying to solve the issue, and they know only about the issue. They didn't know nothing about the client, which caused that the customers were not really happy about it, because the service didn't have a chance to be as good and as individual. Also, it was used in a way that the submission can be done by anyone, but once person submitted the ticket, he just disappeared. Right now, I submitted it to IT, and now I don't have to care about it. And that basically caused that, since usually the submitter was someone who was responsible for that client or for that project, just left the responsibility to IT, and they just had a lot of stuff on their plate, and this led to unresolved customer issues. Of course, the huge part of the company are developers, and they were just demotivated because the combination of ticket management and GitLab was not really friendly. There was no integration, so they were just frustrated because they wanted to work in a GitLab, and know exactly what is the related ticket, and they always have to find it. The teams were actually quite innovative because the teams had their own budgets. So the teams bought and started using own tools, which sounds great, but only for the team, because there was need for a manual transfers between the application, which obviously caused data losses, data falling through the cracks, and the handovers were done in a matter of days. And it also caused quite frustration in cross cooperation, because you just have to explain things over and over again, because customer success were using one application, sales were using another application, and they didn't see the same data, and it wasn't just as easy as sending a link because of the licensing. Also, a huge part of a problem, as we identified, because we actually asked why they're doing that, was a reporting, because they were using basically multiple reports across the company for multiple teams, and as the reporting was structurally going up by the hierarchy, what they've been doing, basically just copying reports from reports and combining them together, which in our perspective was a waste of time, because we already see, okay, this is a great case for an automation. And often mistakes in contingencies, which basically caused false reporting, a lot of stress, and just not a great mood and environment on the meetings. Lucky for the company, there was a new leadership decision, and the decision was, let's innovate. And we were glad that we were part of this, because we were actually able to help them to go through the change from the square one, and actually we are still in the later adoption process. And they had their challenges. There was a huge resistance from seasoned staff. They were used to certain things. They were security concerns because they needed on-premises solution. They had so much invested in legacy stack that they just didn't want to drop it. And of course, as the same as the resistance were from seasoned staff, it was also from people. And last but not least, a technical paralysis. Okay, so how are we going to create this technical solution? If I'm looking at it and I see 6 teams with 6 different applications, Excel data everywhere, how can we solve it? And basically, this is how it went. And you can see here, as I will be talking through it, we use the framework that I was talking about in the first chapter, or in the first part of the webinar. It started with process audit and went through stakeholder management up to phase rollout. And of course, we were checking those boxes. And the important output, which then could lead to outcome, was a clarification of key processes, which was quite challenging because it was necessary to provide guidance to each team, which is something that we naturally do. But it was important to have a hands-on team interview, to do like workshops, because the goal wasn't only to upgrade a tool. The goal was to really level up. So the mindset that the company had was, if we do a change, we do a big one, which was a great opportunity for us to communicate with the people, and we could be really on the same page in the matter of how can I make your life better, basically, how can I make your work life better. This, of course, helped us to understand people needs and identify a small win for each team, which really helped us with proposing the following solutions, and it was just a huge help towards the whole change management process. Also, a big part was addressing connection touch points. Basically, where are the teams touch points? Where are the overlaps? How the handovers works? Because it was also a lot about organizational approach, not just about technical approach. And we proposed a technical solution, and the implementation plan was progressive Kaizen. So we started with the process audit and just the process assurance. And then we went to implementation of work management and project management tool, Easy8. And then we started to adding integration, automation, and now still adding AI automations layer. And as well as the pyramid was structured, the first stage, the first rock that was laid down was adopting a new advanced tool, which was Easy8, which basically helped also through managing the change. And it addressed multiple needs. It actually could be enough, maybe, for the impact that would matter. But as it was already part of the bigger solution, the more automated solution, which were already running towards the AI to AI enhancement, it became one source of truth, and basically the data platform that is just the one data platform that always has all data, which helped with no data loss and complete context. And of course, it's a project management software, so improved trackability, progress, and accountability. And need to mention, 6 tools were basically replaced by 1, thanks to the features and the option of customization of Easy8 and their add-ons and plugins. Then there was the automation and AI layer. I combined it together because it's pretty simple it's pretty simple to talk about it together, because during the organizational change, it really helped increase the buy-in, because we are automating manual work, right? Who wouldn't want that? And it helped us with creating the support tech, to supporting the tech stack connection, so the integrations, and we done it through N8N. And basically, what was there automated? It's just so many things that were automated. So I will probably just move to the gains and impact. So what were actually the metrics that we get from the client, and what basically showed us whether the change was successful not only on operational level, but also through the results. And about 50% process were impacted by automations and AI. It doesn't really mean that the 50% processes were automated. There is like a combination. There were processes that were fully automated, the manual simple ones. There were processes which just help people along the processes. So data preparation, data analysis, or some simple decision making, but there was always a room for the human touch. It also created some new processes, or let's say new activities, something that wasn't done before, but now possible because of usage of AI automations. The metric that is running already is basically measuring how much time saving it generates. And currently it's about 45 man days a month for 70 to 80 people company. What was important for us is to know whether the people were basically happy about it. And from the survey that we did, we learned that 83% people reported positive impact, which for us was a success. Project faster cycles, I think that's kind of natural, switching from shared tools and Excel into a tool which is just adjusted to project management. I think that's quite natural to have this type of growth. Important thing, gain confidence in innovation. Since the company done it, they're eager to explore more and to innovate more and more, which is just great because the automations and the AI automations can be scaled and can do more. And even as this technology is going forward, if you're ready for it, you are ready to quickly adopt, since they already have the pyramid. There was also impact on the ticket automations because there were extensive amount of ticket-related automations, which touch also the clients, causing the increasing NPS. And also one significant point was resource utilization and the risk prediction, just because the data preparation was done by AI, and also some first analysis and basically assigning of resources to project and to tasks. All right, I think I've covered everything that I have prepared, and we are 45 minutes in, so I'm on time as a proper project manager. I'm glad. So now we can get to the pre-final phase. You can leave not only with hopefully some insight from me, but also from a PDF or a digital transformation checklist. So feel free to scan the QR code and download it, or you can do that later because it's available on LinkedIn. And now it's time for question and answers. So I will just give me a second. I will just pull up the Q&A. All right, we have quite a few questions, so I will try to answer as many as possible. So the first one is how to handle people pushback on new changes. As I was talking about it, there are different types of pushbacks that can come from people. It's not only about understanding who are the detractors, but also how big of an impact there is. And if you know how much harm they can do, you should address that accordingly. And I made the joke about isolation, which is not really like you should close them in the room, but it just means that you will have to do much more in order to put these people, let's say, on track and on board with you. And sometimes you just cannot do that. And then there is basically up to you how much you are capable of doing for them. But I also experienced that during the change, some people were just let go because they just weren't able to go with the change. But the stakeholder management should do a pretty well job for you, understanding what their needs are, understanding what is really their everyday need and pain, and try to solve it and basically prove them wrong, show them how much they can benefit from it. I hope I answered the question. If it was more specific, you can just add another answer, another question. Okay. Is there an AI in Easy8? That's a good question. There is AI is a part of Easy8 product, and there are actually multiple assistants focusing on different features of Easy8, and that's built-in AI. That's our own AI, which has master prompts, which are basically supporting and enhancing core features of Easy8. I can definitely recommend to you to check the Easy8 website because there is a lot of information about it there. But basically, there is a native AI in Easy8, and what is not covered if there are user stories that are not covered by Easy AI, there is always the N8N solution through which we can make custom agents or custom AI solutions, either through agentic AI or through basic LLM models. Do you support only Easy Redmine or also other tools? Yes, I'm sorry. It may sound that I'm kicking for Easy Redmine team, which I actually am, because I'm part of Easy Redmine. I'm both Easy8. Yes, through Easy8 agency, we support multiple tools. We are working with Jira as well, and we are basically not limited to, if the software has open API, it can be integrated, which means that we can work with it. But obviously, the Easy Redmine use cases are the strongest for us, because we have clients majorly from Easy Redmine, not only from Easy Redmine, but yes, we do. That's why it's probably the most used software for us to use during our use cases. How big should be change management team? That's kind of tricky question, because basically in a certain aspect, the whole company is your change management team, or at least they have to be on board if you're going to full company change. But usually the same number of people as if you would do any other project. So about four to five people, depending on the size. But what is important, and what I recommend, it doesn't really mean they have to be on the team, but really include leaders or people with significant roles from the teams that are affected. Get them on board and keep them in the loop, because they are basically your extended arm, and you need them to really deliver the change to all of those teams. So ideally, I would say that is about 3 to 5 people focused on the adoption, and I mean internal people, people that are actually in the company, with inclusion of let's say people with competence and with some formal or even informal power from each team. Does Easy Redmine enable native integrations? Yeah, basically yes. Native integration. Easy Redmine has an API access. It has a documentation which any user of Easy Redmine can find, and it's also a public via Swagger. And there are most of the entities of Easy Redmine have API access. So tasks or issues, projects, CRM entities, and there's basically we actually did not meet a use case of a data pool or data update that we wouldn't be able to do. Of course, sometimes it happens that API is missing, but we are able to add it pretty quickly. So yes, it enabled native integrations, and in N8N we actually have a native node. So there is a node which is already prepared, so you don't have to build up the HTTP request to make the custom API call, but you can just use a node where you have already preset settings. You just add your credentials and fill what you want to get or what you want to update, and it's as simple as that. So maybe if you are an Easy Redmine user, you can try that, or if you're interested in the integration of Easy Redmine, you are open to let us know, and we will look at it. Have you any experience about AI connected with CRM and Easy Project, meaning client handling or data collecting? Yes, we've done we actually have one CRM focused agent already. We call him Alfred because he's like butler to our Batmans who are our sales guys, and we are teaching. We actually use it ourselves, and we also provide it to clients, and we are still extending Alfred's capabilities. To just a few examples, what Alfred can do right now and what does for us. It helps us with enrichment of leads and enrichment of companies. It uses our Lexi transcripts to analyze what the meeting was about. It creates a summary. It can create spin analysis. It can help us with analysis of our account insights. It also runs automatically on certain opportunities and accounts where there is no activity. So it's actually proactively looking if there is an open opportunity without sales activity. And it's not just like a notifier, there is no activity, but it also proactively reads through the account, through the sales activities, do a summary for our sales guys, and give them a proposition of the next steps. Even writes email for them. We also have a POC that we're working on that is focused on RFPs. So basically, a pre-filling or pre-evaluation of RFP forms, which is quite a big thing for us. And yeah, and we just looking for more and more cases, how to make him better. So if that is interest of yours, I'll be happy to talk about it a little bit more, and maybe we can find some new use cases. Okay, how does the N8 and provisioning works? N8N is basically it's similar like Make or any other integration platform. So N8N is the provider of the interface and of the integration capabilities and of the canvas of the solution, and it's basically just it's up to the client if he wants to be the one who is managing his instance, or if he wants us, meaning Easy8, to do it. So it's really up to him. But basically, everything that needs to be done to initiate the workflow building or the automatization is to have an instance. It's great for us and for our clients because N8N offers community version, which has Docker and can be deployed on premise, and it's actually free, which is a huge advantage. But otherwise, they have also cloud solution, and it basically works in a way that we communicate the use cases. We build kind of like solution design. We do POCs to show something, to do a demo. That's what we do it in our own instance. So before client actually goes and buys N8N, he can actually see that it can really solve his need or answer his pains. And once we do it and the client is ready to have the solution in his application or in his tech stack, it's just up to him. He can buy it, or we can manage it and provide additional support and monitoring. And that's really up to the client. And once we have it, we just jump into it and build the workflows in his own instance. But there is no special process for that. Okay, I see a couple more questions here, but we are already tight on schedule. We have like 30 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken. I see those questions and I like those questions. I'm happy to answer them. I will just click one more slide, and there should be my contact. So do not hesitate to send those contacts if you have the questions, and I should have your email so I could be proactive. But the best way is to contact me anyway, and I can answer to email, or we can schedule a call and talk about them a little bit more. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all who stayed until to this point. It was great to talk to you, and I'll be looking forward maybe to talk some more about transformation, AI, or use cases that you may be interested in. Have a great day, and see you on the next webinar.